Most of the software we use every day is, well, it's pretty forgetful. It knows what's happening right now, in this very second. But its past, that's a total blur. So today we're going to dive into this really powerful idea in architecture that gives our systems a perfect memory. It's about capturing not just the current state of things, but the entire story of how we got here.
All right, let's just start with a simple question, but it's a big one. What if your data had a perfect memory? What if it could remember every single little change that ever happened to it, preserving its entire history forever? That's really the core idea we're digging into. To really wrap our heads around this, let's compare two ways of doing things. Your typical system, right? It just overwrites data. So when you change your shipping address, the old one is just poof, gone. That's the biggest weakness. The history is lost. But with an event sourcing system, it's totally different. Every change, every single update to your address gets recorded as a permanent event. Nothing is ever deleted. It all becomes part of this unbreakable story.
And that right there, that gets us to the fundamental problem with only storing the current state. Most systems basically live in this perpetual present, and that digital amnesia, it created some really serious limitations.
So, the solution requires a complete shift in thinking, a real paradigm shift. Instead of just storing the final result, we start recording the entire history. It's a fundamentally different and honestly a much more powerful way to handle our data. Okay, so what exactly is event sourcing? Well, it's the practice of capturing all changes to an application's state as a sequence of immutable events. Now, that word immutable, that's the magic word here. It means once an event is recorded, it is set in stone. You can't change it, you can't delete it, period. We're recording the journey, not just the final destination. So how does this actually work? It's a pretty simple and elegant process, really. First, something happens. Let's say a user adds an item to their shopping cart. Second, we capture that as an event, something like item added to cart. Third, that event gets saved forever in a log. But here's the crucial part, the final step. To figure out what's in the cart right now, we don't just look up a record somewhere. Nope, we simply replay that sequence of events. The current state is derived from the history. It's not stored directly. And this leads to a really powerful analogy. The event log becomes the system's absolute single source of truth. It's a lot like a financial ledger, You don't go back and just erase old transactions. That would be crazy. You add new ones to show what the balance is now. This append-only log becomes the perfect, unchangeable memory of everything that has ever happened. So you might be asking, why go to all this trouble? Well, because meticulously recording history gives your system some absolutely incredible superpowers. Let's take a look at what they are. This is where it all pays off. You get complete auditability, which for things like compliance is a total non-negotiable. You unlock these rich analytics because you can analyze how users behaved over time, not just the final result. And then there's this incredible ability called time travel debugging. Imagine a customer tells you about a weird bug that happened 3 days ago. Instead of guessing, you can literally replay the event log and reconstruct the exact state of their account at that precise moment. It's like having a DVR for your entire system. But let's be super clear here. This is not the right tool for every single job. It's a specialized approach. So let's talk about where this powerful architecture really shines. This approach is just a natural fit for any field where history and trust are paramount. Think about banking and finance. You need an unquestionable audit trail for every single cent. Or payment systems, where you need absolute transactional integrity. And of course, security, where you have to track every single access change without fail. In all of these cases, the past is just as important as the present. Heck, maybe even more so. But, and this is a big but, here's the trade-off. All this power comes at the cost of complexity. With event sourcing, you have to think differently about your data, about how you query it, and how the whole system evolves over time. It requires really careful, deliberate design. It is definitely not a free lunch.
And all of this brings us to what might be the biggest idea of all. Adopting this pattern isn't just a technical choice. It's a whole new perspective on what data truly represents.
Because when you really get to the heart of it, when you strip everything else away, event sourcing isn't just another architecture pattern that you plug into your code. It's something much deeper. It's a way to model truth over time. That's the ultimate takeaway. You're building systems that don't just know the facts of right now, but they understand the entire story of how those facts came to be. They're built on a foundation of history, not just some fleeting snapshot of the present. So we'll end with this one thought. We started by asking, what if your data had a perfect memory? But let's just make it a little more personal for a second. How would your world, your decisions, and your understanding of everything change if you could never ever forget? That's the kind of power event sourcing brings to our digital world. Thanks for digging into this with me.